home of Rallycross at Lidenhill in Kent welcomes round 5 of the 2023 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship on a fine and sunny afternoon with over 70 cars present racing across 7 different classes. And the title fight is certainly heating up. The likes of Lee Wood in the classic category, Fred Ling in super modified, and plenty more fighting for that all-important overall title with points in their individual classes. There's also a welcome return for reigning champion Darren Bleasdale in super modified. First of all, though, before we get on to the action, let's take a look at the reshaped Lidenhill circuit. We're on board with Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini, off the line down towards Chesson's Drift, named after Bill Chesson, the founder of Lidenhill. Certainly a few changes made to this part of the circuit. You can see the Daytona-style banking put up on this opening corner. Rather than going onto the tarmac at Dover Slope, it's around onto the infield and then into the huge jump put up for the visit of the World Rallycross Championship over the last couple of years. The car gets plenty of air time there. Back onto the tarmac in time for the tricky left-hander at the Devil's Elbow. Plenty of cars have come to grief there over the course of many years into the gravel trap on the outside. Then it's up Hairy Hill, a fair bit of dust being kicked up on this section of the circuit, into the right-hander at North Bend, almost a hairpin through there. And it's back down the other side of the hill in towards the right-hander at Paddock Bend, back onto the loose. Mabs Bank no longer there on the outside to catch out any wayward cars running wide. You have to watch the curbs through the chicane though as you come through to complete a lap. A fairly short lap but a pretty treacherous one. First of the A finals then is the MacG Racing 4x4 category. 3 heat wins for Thomas Ramanauskas in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4, put him on pole position alongside Chris Baker in his Subaru. A quartet of all 4 minis completing the grid, although James Constantine, the former junior champion, hasn't got away off the start line. It's Baker who gets away best in the Subaru, and he leads away ahead of Thomas Ramanauskas. Up there in third place, that looks like Andrew Hawkes in the red and blue BMW Mini. Max Langmaid tucks in fourth, David Bell in fifth, and Langmaid in trouble there as they come towards the jump. He's spun it. Early chaos among the BMW Mini, all 4 cars then, the Mini Countryman based machines. It's Baker who leads from Ramanauskas, the Lithuanian, the triple heat winner earlier on. Andrew Hawkes up there in third position, the former BMW Mini category champion in the Mini Coopers, now moving up to the Mini Countryman cars. David Bell, the builder of these cars, in fourth position. Well, looks like we've lost James Constantine already. I don't think he got off the start line. And also we saw a spin for Max Langmaid, the young Southwest as well. There's Constantine in the background, the yellow flag out because he's crawling his way through the right-hander at Chesson's Drift. It's turned into the Talladega style corner, as some of the rallycrossers now call it. Ramanauskas to the outside in the Mitsubishi, goes up way high on the banking. Can he take lead? Andrew Hawkes has lost it behind him. It's all happening in this 4x4A final, and the BMW Mini's tangling behind. The wayward car of Hawkes takes out David Bell. There's going to be no all 4 minis left running by the end of this race. It's going to be just these 2 by the look of it. Ramanauskas has taken the lead. There's smoke now from Chris Baker's Subaru as well. Well, the way things are going here, Ramanauskas is going to be the only car left running. There's Baker in second, the recent A final winner at Blyton Park in round 4, his first ever A final victory in the Autosport International BTRDA Championship. He's back on the tail now of the Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi and Subaru, of course, legendary rallying rivals. They're way ahead of everybody else, these 2. Constantine's car is on the infield. We've lost Andrew Hawkes as well after his earlier tangle, and Baker goes for the inside as they go down towards Chesson's Drift. There's contact between the 2 of them. Excuse me, says Chris Baker up the inside. Well, rubbing's racing, as they say. And there was certainly a lot of rubbing there going into Chesson's. Now, can Baker hold it? They go over the jump, up and over the airtime they get through there. They charge their way into the left-hander at Devil's Elbow. Well, this is proving that you only need 2 cars for a good motor race. They're way ahead of the BMW Minis. Max Langmaid and David Bell, the only 2 of them still going. They are well behind their opposition here in the Japanese machinery. Baker has retaken the lead then from Ramanauskas in second place. There's David Bell, he's still going. And Max Langmaid is still running in third place as well. They're having their own race further back, the all 4 mini category. Over the curbs they go, 2 laps to go in this 6-lap A final. And Max Langmaid dropping out of the race with engine problems now. Cloud of smoke. So we've only got 3 cars left running. There's James Constantine, the former junior champion's car, on the infield. He never really got going in this A final. Over the top they go. Can Ramanauskas make it 4 wins out of 4? There's yellow flags there at Devil's Elbow because of the stranded car of Max Langmaid, the former Mini Stocks racer on the short ovals. Up the hill towards North Bend. Ramanauskas is not finished yet. There's been a big rivalry between these two this season. Chris Baker was relieved to finally break his duck in A-finals at Blighton last time out in the Subaru. Ramanauskas, the reigning category champion. Up and over the line they go to start their final lap over the curves. Baker's got the advantage onto the loose into Chesson's Drift. Nothing flew off there, a bit of bodywork coming off one of those cars. They're battered and bruised from the earlier contact. Ramanauskas lining up as they come towards the jump. Over the top they go, almost together. Big air for Thomas Ramanauskas. He's going for the inside. There's a yellow flag there, so if he makes the pass there, that might not count. He forces his way through. He smashes his way past Chris Baker. Look at the state of, well, both of these cars now. What a bruising day it's been. Well, Ramanauskas through, but that may have been under yellow flags. Baker fighting back. He gives him a tap through North Bend. Down the hill they come. There's only Paddock Bend to go now. Can Ramanauskas hang on in front? What a terrific race this has been. Ramanauskas, I think he's popped a tyre there. He's running wide. The left front tyre, I think, has gone down. Baker up alongside him. He's going through, and Chris Baker will win it. What an extraordinary race. My goodness. That's one of the most bruising rallycross races I've ever seen. Chris Baker has won it. That's his second A final in a row. Ramanauskas second. We've lost Max Langmaid, so there's only David Bell still running of the Minis. There he is, just going through Devil's Elbow now. He was nearly a full lap behind the two leaders. What a destructive A final for the MacG Racing modified 4x4s. Chris Baker, after that terrific battle with Thomas Ramanauskas, wins by 1 second. Ramanauskas, I think, picking up a puncture on the final bend. And David Bell, the only other finisher. We lost Max Langmaid, Andrew Hawkes and James Constantine in what was a bad race for the Mini Countrymen, sadly. A terrific A final, though, for the 4x4s.
Here I am with the winner of our very first race this afternoon, the super modified 4x4 category. That's number 193, Chris Baker, who looks a little hot, but is he bothered? Chris, how was the race?
Great. It's a tough one again. We've been getting battered all day. Cars obviously took a bit of a pasting today, but that's racing, I suppose.
Well, it's a certain type of racing. You kind of expect that, but not so much in rallycross. But yourself and Thomas have been duking it out all day.
Yeah, I finally managed to get in front. Obviously, I messed up in heat 2, but the car's like a rocket off that line. So as long as I can get that front row, I think I'm first into that first bend. So it's just a case of keeping him behind me. He snuck past once. I got back.
Well, that each time it seemed to be a bit of a dice around Chessons as to quite which way to take. Do you take it narrow or do you go wide?
It's hard to pick a line. It depends whether they've wet it first or not. Dry, if you can get down low, you're all right. But if it's been wet, get a bit of speed into it and try and drift it out. That's how Thomas got past me first time. So I think I went for it a lap after. I think maybe, if memory serves me right. But yeah, it's a good fun. That jump's amazing. All
that's to say is many congratulations for your win this afternoon, and we'll see you at Pembrey, I trust.
Hopefully. If there's not too many repairs needed. Hopefully.
Well done. We'll see you again. Thanks for talking to us, Chris.
Next up on track is the MOT Group production category for some of these smaller two-wheel drive cars. Alex Fletcher in the Loughborough College Honda Civic has qualified on pole. He had a heat win, as did Martin Peters. On the second row, Mark Henry's Alfa Romeo won the other heat, but a jump start there. Who was guilty of that? Charlie Maroney in the yellow Saxo, who was on the front row. He's now been moved to the back of the grid as a result of that. Championship contender last year. They get away this time. It's Fletcher who takes up the lead ahead of Peters. Mark Henry in third. So the three heat winners, 1, 2 and 3. Dan Pollard coming up the outside there in the first of the two yellow Saxos, but it's Alex Fletcher who leads the way in the car prepared by students at Loughborough College in Leicestershire. Over the top they go. He leads Martin Peters, had a couple of A final wins early in the season. Sam Noy in the grey Saxo has got away well up into fourth position. Mark Henry's Alfa Romeo recently scored his first ever A final win in round 4 at Blighton in Lincolnshire, taking on the Hondas, Citroens towards the front of the pack. Up the inside, Charlie Maroney, and wallop into the back of Sam Noy, spins him around. more like stock car racing than rallycross. It's Charlie Maroney, who was a championship contender in this production category last year in the True7.com Saxo, making a return this weekend. True7, big sponsors of the sport of Speedway as well. Grass track Speedway events have been held here at Lyndon in the past. There's more contact. That's James Ash in the Citroen C2 getting tagged by Dan Pollard. And in behind them in the Fiesta, that's Neil Brooks. His son Tom was due to race that car originally this weekend, but Tom, a motorsport commentator, rather busy with the Formula E World Championship in London this weekend. Battle is on for second place. Mark Henry having a go at Martin Peters, one of the championship contenders along with Alex Fletcher this year. This is a good run by the Honda Civic pilot in the colours of its new sponsor, Weira Tools. Debuted that livery at the last round at Blyton. There's the True7 car, number 7, Charlie Maroney. Seen his father competing in an Escort Cosworth in the past in the classic category. Unfortunately, that suffered a fire earlier this season. Alex Fletcher continues to lead the way, pulling away in the Honda Civic. We saw him in the modified category where he took the title last season. Maroney dives up the inside into North Bend, no contact this time, and he takes third from Mark Henry in the unique Alpha 147, the only car of its kind competing in Rallycross. Buckinghamshire driver. There's a little battle into the hairpin. Neil Brooks and Sam Noy fighting it out. Sam recovering from his spin at the hands of Charlie Maroney earlier on. Neil Brooks in the Mark 7 Fiesta. First four have pulled away, a couple of laps to go. Driver that didn't start this A final, Will Noon, in his Renault Clio. The car shed all its oil around the circuit in one of the heats. He had to withdraw with engine damage. The other car at the back of the field, we've not mentioned Kestutis Butkus in his Suzuki Swift. 9 cars out there in this MOT Group production A final. It's Maroney, front bumper hanging off after that earlier contact with Sam Noy, trying to go around the outside at North Bend. That rarely works. Martin Peters in the similar Saxo holds him off. These four have pulled away now from the rest of the field as Maroney has a look down the inside, but Peters closes the door. This is all allowing Alex Fletcher to pull away. He leads into the final lap over the curbs. To have Charlie Maroney back, he came close to the production title last year, lost out to former junior championship contender Charlie Titcomb. The loose section up towards the jump. Get offline there, else she'll fall off the edge. Very close for second place here, pulling away from Mark Henry in fourth in the Alfa Romeo. We're on the last lap now. Charlie Maroney determined to get through into second place. He was on the front row originally, had to start from the back in the second running after a jump start. If he jumped the start again, he would have been disqualified. But it's going to be a win for Alex Fletcher in the Loughborough College Weira Tools Honda Civic. Paddock then for the last time. Is Maroney going to get through for second place? There's the checkered flag. Fletcher will come in to win it. Over the bumps, Peters hangs on for second place. Maroney third. Mark Henry in fourth. And then a gap back to the rest of the field. Who's going to come through next? There's Kestutis Butkus in the background, just coming through Devil's Elbow. Looks like it's going to be James Ash in the Citroen C2 who will take P5, just ahead of Dan Pollard. He had a good start in his Saxo. He's 6th. 7th goes to Sam Knight, way over the infield as he takes the flag. Neil Brooks over the curbs as well. And Kestutis Butkus will come in to be the final finisher. The Suzuki Swift a little bit off the pace in the production category today. So the win goes to Alex Fletcher, taking the flag 1.3 seconds clear of Martin Peters, who just held off Charlie Maroney. Mark Henry completing the top four, and then a gap back to Ash Pollard. Sam Noy with a rather wayward finish, then Neil Brooks and Kestutis Butkus. One non-starter, Will Noon in his Renault Clio after problems in the heats.
Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you, Steve.
What does that mean to you?
Oh, lots. That's what we need to be. That's the kind of results we need. You know, that was a pretty dominant win. You know, lights to flag. So I think we've been fastest laps all day as well. So just mega for the college, for Weira Tools, to all our sponsors. This is what we need. This is exactly what we need. So brilliant.
It was pretty comprehensive. I was wondering whether you would be distracted by the battles going on in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, I could see Charlie Maroney coming, so yeah, he was coming hard. So yeah, I just thought I'd put in a few quick laps and get out of the way, and then yeah, just cruise to the flag on the final lap. So brilliant.
Well, it's good to see that it goes as well as it looks.
Well, hopefully it keeps going as well as it looks. Yeah, so yeah, no, fingers crossed it holds together for the next round in Pembury. So yeah, that's a double header. So really looking forward to that one.
Likewise, can't wait to see you there, and who knows, maybe we'll have another little chat after the final or two.
Fingers crossed. That's brilliant. Cheers, Steve. Thank you.
The SG Haulage Super Modified category sees the welcome return of the reigning overall champion Darren Bleasdale in the Vauxhall VX220. He's on pole, 2 heat wins for him. Fred Ling won the other heat in the Fiesta, beating the front row Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini. And the VX220 makes its typical lightning start, leaves the others standing. We've seen that so many times over the last couple of years with Jason and his brother Darren Bleasdale in that car. Darren driving today the reigning overall champion. We're on board with Todd Crooks chasing Fred Ling, the current championship leader, fighting for the overall points lead. Over the jump they go. Crooks has had a bit of mechanical bad luck so far this year. Through the left-hander they go. 4th place James Avison at the wheel of his Honda Civic. Then we've got Phil Chicken in the Citroen C2. Gary Cook in his Fiesta. And completing the field in this one, the VW Polo of Cameron Whitley. Side by side between Cook and Avison, chasing Phil Chicken. There's Whitley, the ex-Ford Focus pilot, in his Polo in the background. Winner of round 4 at Blyton, Richard Moore, the Mercedes SLK V8, unfortunately crashed out of the event in Heat 3, hit the barriers coming out of North Bend. Chris Smith in his Honda Civic, also a non-starter in this A final. Cheston's Drift, Darren Bleasdale, the man from the northeast. His familiar position up front. First time we've seen him out in the Autosport International BTRDA Series this year. Big air there for Phil Chicken over the jump. Fred Ling in 2nd place. Has had 3 A final wins out of 4 rounds so far this year. Didn't attend round 4 at Blyton, which he'll normally use as one of his dropped scores. It was Richard Moore's Mercedes that won on that occasion. Todd Crooks in 3rd place. He and his wife Jordine do so much behind the scenes for this championship. Jordine, the championship coordinator, does get behind the wheel occasionally as well in the production category. We've seen her in action in the past. We gap back to Phil Chicken in 4th place. Over the curb he goes. Gary Cook in the Wera Tools Fiesta in 5th. 6th place is James Avison. Bleasdale continues to lead. Has Fred Ling met his match here? We saw 2 years consecutive of this VX220 unbeaten in the championship in the hands firstly of Jason Bleasdale, then Darren. 3rd brother as well, Stephen Bleasdale, we've seen competing in the BMW Minis too. No problems for Todd Crooks. He pulls up on the outside of Chesson's Drift. Not too sure what's happened there. As we were on board with him, the BMW Mini suddenly slowed. More bad luck for Todd. It's been a frustrating season for him. So it's between these two for the lead now. Bleasdale from Ling, and up the inside, Fred Ling up the inside takes the lead from Darren Bleasdale. It's not very often we see the VX220 overtaken for the lead. Has Darren Bleasdale got a problem? Normally he's lengths clear by now, but Fred Ling has taken the lead. This is impressive from the Fiesta. Yellow flags for Todd Crooks' car that has come to a halt on Chesson Drift. He's lost a wheel. You can see it in the middle of the track there. Todd Crooks unfortunately losing a wheel. That's put him out of the race. So Fred Ling leads into the final lap. Bleasdale's dropping back into 2nd. I think he must have a problem with the VX220. It still flies over the jump there. Well, Fred Ling heading for a final win, number 4. This will keep up his challenge for the overall championship, certainly, because of the quirk where you can only win 1 championship per driver. Of course, if he wins the overall championship, he won't be super modified champion due to that little quirk of the rules. So it's Fred Ling who leads into the final corner. Bleasdale's going wide. I think he's pulling off. Yes, Bleasdale is in trouble. Darren Bleasdale pulls over, and it's Fred Ling who takes a final win, number 4 this year. Bleasdale stops on the outside of Paddock Bend on the tarmac circuit, so we'll wait to see who's going to come in 2nd place. There's Whitley and Avison further back in the Polo and the Civic. 2nd place, it's going to be Phil Chicken in the Citroen C2. Gary Cook across the line, he's slowing up as well. This circuit's an absolute car breaker today. Cameron Whitley will take 4th place, and it's James Avison in P5. So it's Fred Ling who takes a final win, number 4 this year, well clear of Phil Chicken. Gary Cook completes the podium, while Cameron Whitley gets the best result so far for his VW Polo ahead of James Avison. Darren Bleasdale did get across the line in 6th. Gear selection problems, we're told, for the VX220. We lost Todd Crooks with that loose wheel. Richard Moore and Chris Smith, non-starters, had the problems earlier on.
Here we are, hot off the press with a very happy chappy. Fred, many congratulations.
Thank you.
That was some race, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's been on it all day. He's first time back. There may not have been a gentleman's agreement. I knew he's obviously not registered for championship points, so I know he didn't want to spoil everyone's races, which may explain what happened towards the end there. But I've been able to keep him honest all day, which is the first time we've been able to do that in a couple of years. So yeah, over the moon really with the performance-wise today.
Yep. Your lap times were within a tenth of a second or so of each other the right way through. So worthy win, I would say.
Yeah, I could see he had a bit more pace on the tarmac. I was, especially going onto the loose, obviously being front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, I had a little bit more traction than him. But yeah, I think you can see the swings and roundabouts of the front rear-wheel drive battle just off the line. He's just in a different postcode.
It's good to see very good entries on all of the categories. And of course, as always, one of the most hotly contested is super modifieds. And there you are, you're on the top row of the top step of the podium.
Yeah, couldn't ask for more. Like, the car's been faultless. My dad, for the first time since I've been racing since I was about 14, had to leave partway through today, so that was a different one, having to fend for myself. I felt a bit useless really, but luckily I've had Paul and Lance and the rest of the team there to sort of help keep the cogs spinning, and yeah, they've spanner checked it, kept things going with talk tyre strategy. So yeah, it's been a different day, but yeah, it's a happy result.
Many congratulations on your win this afternoon, Fred. Well deserved, and it keeps you in very good contention for overall victory.
Yeah, we'll have to wait. Pembury's up next, and I know there's a lot of other quick guys around. I'm not taking anything for granted. I've been lucky so far this year, so yeah, wait and see what the rest of the year has to hold.
Plenty of mayhem in all classes at Linden Hill here today, including the Bone Street Autos BMW Minis. This incident at Devil's Elbow between Oran Hickinson and Gus Glass, leaving both of them in the gravel. Thankfully they were able to get back out for the A final, with Ben Sayer on pole position alongside Abby McGuinness, Dave Ellis on the outside of row 1. They each won a heat earlier on in the event. Leanne Sedgwick on row 2 alongside the previous winner Wesley Wickens, who took the flag in the A final at Blyton. Good start by Abby McGuinness from the middle of the front row. The whine of the superchargers of these BMW Mini Cooper S's as they go into Chesson's Drift for the first time, and it is McGuinness who emerges with the lead. Fans in the paddock certainly screaming away behind our camera there as McGuinness leads ahead of Ben Sayer and Dave Ellis over the top for the first time. Also in there is Alan Laidler, the former Citroen Saxo racer. It's Abby McGuinness who leads the way round Devil's Elbow for the first time. The first three beginning to pull away. Ben Sayer missing his front bumper after a bit of contact earlier on, the former junior rallycrosser. Ellis in third place. Fourth is Wesley Wickens, then Leanne Sedgwick, Alan Laidler, and behind them Oran Hickinson on the worst of that tangle with Gus Glass earlier on. They come through to complete the first lap. One driver who didn't start this A final, James Hawkes, after some problems in the heats, he had to withdraw. Leanne Sedgwick over the curves there, there's Laidler. The David Bell run car of Oran Hickinson completing the field. Having a look on the inside there, Ben Sayer wasn't able to get alongside Abby McGuinness as they head up and over the jump. Look at the air that these cars get, especially these slightly lighter BMW Minis. Identical Mini Cooper S's, all 1600cc supercharged engines. Originally ran in with the super modified category and subclass, with so many of them entered, they've been given their own standalone championship over the last couple of years. Andy Hawkes, who won it last year, he's now moved up into the four-wheel drive all-four Mini Countryman class, as we saw earlier. Ben Sayer putting Abby McGuinness under pressure for the lead. Had a lot of bad luck so far this year, has Abby. She tries to take her first Rallycross title. Wesley Wickens, the regular esports competitor, in fourth place at the back of this group, recently had his first ever A final victory at Blyton. The hill they go. David Ellis, a winner at Pembury earlier this season, a championship contender. Keeping in touch, any one of these three could come out of this with the points lead in the category. Well clear of the rest, Leanne Sedgwick, Alan Laidler, Oran Hickinson. The inside, Wesley Wickens has a look for third place to get alongside the Proctor's Coaches sponsored car of Dave Ellis. Kevin Proctor, the company owner, of course, a very successful rallycrosser and rally driver a few years ago. I remember him at Croft Circuit, his local venue. Sadly no longer stages rallycross. Very quick Ford Fiesta a few years ago. Up and And over the top they come again in this Bone Street Autos BMW Mini A final, and Abby McGuinness under real pressure now from the number 77 of Ben Sayer. Used to compete in a Suzuki Swift in the Junior Rallycross category, the Sayers Road Tankers liveried machine. Loving the eyes on the headlamp covers. Ellis holding off Wickens for third place. Wickens in the K-Seal car, trying to go for the outside, coming out of North Bend down the hill. Nearly gets alongside, but Ellis will have the inside for the right at Paddock Hill Bend. That's where Mabs Bank used to be on the outside. Long-time Rallycross fans will know of the famous footage of the late Keith Ripp in his Mini hitting that bank and rolling the car to complete destruction and sending a certain Murray Walker into hysterics. And over the top they come once again, this legendary Linden Hill venue. We're on the final lap now of this BMW Mini A final, and Ben Sayer still trying as hard as he can. Abby McGuinness, can she hang on for victory? Scored a win in one of the heats earlier on, that was in heat 3. Ben Sayer won heat 1, Ellis won heat 2. Here they come down the hill. Wesley Wickens going for the outside again, nearly off onto the curbs there, but he's going to get ahead of Dave Ellis into paddock for the final time. He's up to third. McGuinness runs a little bit wide. Ben Sayer will try and get up alongside. McGuinness is slowing. I can't believe this. So many cars have failed on the last laps today. Abby McGuinness drops to fourth place and Ben Sayer takes the win. Oh, that is gutting for Abby McGuinness. So many times the car has let her down this year, and it happens again within sight of the checkered flag. I can't believe that. Ben Sayer has taken the win ahead of Wesley Wickens and Dave Ellis, and Abby McGuinness is distraught. You have to feel for Abby there, because she'd driven a perfect race to hold off Ben Sayer, and her seemingly jinxed car strikes again. Well, Ben Sayer drives round on his lap of honour. He takes the win ahead of Wesley Wickens by 2 seconds. Wickens taking what turned out to be second from Dave Ellis with a couple of corners to go. McGuinness got across the line in fourth. It was a supercharger problem, we're told, this time. Leanne Sedgwick, Alan Laidler and Oran Hickinson completing the 7 finishers in our Bone Street Autos BMW Mini A final.
Here we now is Ben Sayer, who was looking hot and flustered after a very busy race. Well, race and a half. How are you feeling?
Well, excited that we won, but it was very lucky, I'd say, because Abby's defended really well there. And I tried everything in the bag I had, and I seen the last little mistake on that last corner. I thought, surely I'm not going to get past. And I just managed to squeeze through. I think she's ended up with a fault with the car, which is very unfortunate, but glad to win.
Well, yeah, any win's a good win. And Abby was so very defensive right the way through that race, and you could see you sort of gnawing away, not quite at the back bumper, but yeah, almost
nearly touching. But you've got to be careful sometimes. But I managed to just try to do everything I could, but I didn't think I was going to get the win there. She was defending really well, drove really good, so it's a bit unfortunate what's happened, but racing's racing. I was leading coming into the weekend, so hopefully boosting my points up a bit more. Yeah. And on to the next one, which is Pembury.
The double header.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Yeah. Hopefully same again.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing what happens there in sunny Wales. It's like this.
Hopefully.
And congratulations for today.
Thank you very much.
The Pre-95 Classic Division, sponsored by Melius Limited. On the grid, Jamie McBain in the green Peugeot with 2 heat wins on pole position. Category points leader Lee Wood in the Mark II Escort alongside. Completing the front row, Ray Morgan in his Cosworth-powered Mark III Escort. We're on board with David Ewing in the Fiesta Evo. A poor start for Jamie McBain. The rear-wheel drive cars beating him away. Lee Wood has the lead. Alan Tapscott in the red Mark II Escort with a good start as well. It's Wood who leads. David Ewing round the outside, almost getting into third place ahead of Alan Tapscott, but it's the man from the southwest who hangs on. Lee Wood, though, has the lead in the Mark II Escort, up over the jump for the first time. Ray Morgan, welcome returnee to the BTRDA Clubman's Championship this weekend in his Cosworth BDA powered Mark III Escort, up there in second. Tapscott in third, then David Ewing in fourth position, up towards North Bend for the first time. Jamie McBain from pole position down to fifth, beaten away by the rear-wheel drive cars. It's Dan Swaylen, Ryan Stuxbury and the rest of the field come through. There's John Cross in the Lancia Stratos clone. He's done well to repair that car after a smash here at Lytton only a week ago. Tapscott and Ewing nearly coming together there into Paddock Bend. We're on board with David Ewing, the farmer from Cumbria, in his Fiesta Evo, Ford Fiesta Mark III with a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo engine. Chasing now Alan Tapscott for third. The two escorts though going clear. Ewing gets a bit crossed up coming through the Talladega style banked corner. He's under fire from the Peugeot of Jamie McBain, the double heat winner, the pole sitter in this race. He'll be ruining that poor start. The front wheel drive Peugeot just could not keep pace with all the rear wheel drive Fords around it. It's these two that have got clear. Lee Wood in the Motorquip STP Escort, replica of the car that the great John Welch used in the early 80s. Mark Boyd was very successful in a Mark II Escort, as well as Jamie McBain up the inside. Excuse me, he says to David Ewing, I'm going through into fourth place. Now down to the business of trying to catch Alan Tapscott, who used to campaign a Vauxhall Corsa very successfly in the super modified class. Now switching to the classic division in his Mark II Escorts. Here they come towards Chessons once again. The two Fords out front. It's Ford 1, 2 and 3. Tapscott in there in third in the red, almost rally style Mark II Escorts. David Ewing further back in fifth. Sixth is Ryan Stutchbury in his Peugeot 205. And seventh we have Darrell Ambrose's Peugeot 106. Saw a glimpse at the back there of Nigel Davey in his superb looking Triumph TR7, like the old Triumph rally cars of the late 80s. Down the hill to the two leaders. All with David Ewing guiding the car through the tight right-hander at North Bend. It's dropped back now from these two, Tapscott and Jamie McBain. Scored his first ever A-final win at Pembrey last season, the green Peugeot run by the R1 Motorsport Rallycross team. Also look after Ryan Stutchbury in his 205. Forward with Ewing trying to chase down that third place battle, coming through the dust into Chessons. Oh, and a spin, that's Tapscott. Alan Tapscott, the third place man, spinning out there. Don't think there was any contact with Jamie McBain's Peugeot, but he rejoins down to fifth, just behind David Ewing. Coming through there is John Cross. He's up into sixth place in his rebuilt Stratos. He's been a bit off the pace today, but that's understandable after that damage just a week ago in the retro rallycross category here at Lytton. Treble 3, Lee Wood continues to lead. Another man in contention for the overall BTRDA Clubman's Championship this year, along with Fred Ling in super modified, and also a couple of contenders in the junior category as well. Will Ovenden, the local man to Lytton, has got his sights set on the overall title as well. Problems for Ryan Stutchbury, unlucky number 13, pulls into the paddock. The R1 Motorsport Cars race is over. One non-starter in this A-final, which was Vince Bristow in his familiar BMW E36, Mr. Sideways as we call him. So that car suddenly broke down in Heat 1. We're down to 9 cars running in this race. At the back of the field at the moment are Nigel Davey and Dan Swayland with his nice Mark I Escorts. Darrell Ambrose, his Peugeot 106 in there as well, the X-Production category runner. Coming round to start our final lap this time then. Jamie McBain, recovering from that poor start, he's catching the two leaders. I think he'll run out of time to get onto the back of Ray Morgan though. Ray Morgan, the former John Button Memorial Trophy winner. Button, one of the first greats of British Rallycross, the father of Jenson Button, of course, the former Formula One world champion. Final lap we go on board with David Ewing, staying ahead of Alan Tapscott, P4 and P5. Fairly well spaced out now in the closing stages of this Melius Limited Pre-95 Classic A final. It looks like it's going to be another win for Lee Wood to keep up his overall championship challenge. It's been the Bleasdale brothers the last couple of years in the Vauxhall VX220. Bleasdale's not contesting the full season this year. We will see a new overall champion. Will it be this man, Lee Wood, coming in to take another Pre-95 Classic A final win? Superb drive here at Lytton. Ray Morgan will come over in second place. Good recovery by Jamie McBain. He has to settle for third place in the Peugeot. And the gap back to David Ewing and Alan Tapscott. Is the Escort going to get through on the run to the line? Not quite. A good consistent day for David Ewing, making the long trip from Cumbria worthwhile. John Cross, quieter day for the Stratos today. He takes sixth position. Then Darrell Ambrose. Next through will be Nigel Davey in the TR7. And the final finisher, Dan Swayland. A quiet day for him as well in the Mark I Escort today. It's Lee Wood who takes the win by over 3 seconds from Ray Morgan. Jamie McBain recovering from that slow start to come through the third ahead of David Ewing. Alan Tapscott recovering from a spin to take fifth. John Cross, Darrell Ambrose, Nigel Davey, Dan Swayland completing the finishes. We lost Ryan Stutchbury into the paddock. Vince Bristow a no-show for the A final.
This is becoming a bit of a habit. Well done.
Thank you very much. No, it's nice to be back.
Well, especially so after what happened at Blyton.
Yeah, I mean, we had a bit of a engine catastrophe at Blyton, and it sort of wasn't well. So we've cobbled a few things together, and we've got this one going quite good now. So yeah, good.
Quite good.
It's a labour of love in the garage with lots of cups of tea and making it work. So yeah.
Well, those cups of tea have obviously got the right stuff in them, and the cars seemingly worked beautifully all day.
It's been good. They just watered it just before we went out, so it sort of made it a bit exciting, which is fine. But no, it's touch wood. It's been great today.
Well, I'm delighted to see you winning again. I don't suppose that everyone in the category would be quite as happy, but it was well earned. You raced fantastically all day. Congratulations,
Thank
Lee.
you very much indeed. I'll see you next time. Take care.
Next up on track, it's the AVM Motors Junior Rallycross category. A big entry of juniors here today. Local favourite Will Ovenden surprisingly beaten to pole. It's Tyler McAlpin who took 2 heat wins. He's on the pole in the number 10 car. Will Ovenden in the red Suzuki Swift alongside him, and Ty Ratton, one of our newcomers, completing the front row as this big grid gets underway. Mainly Suzuki Swifts plus the Nissan Micra of Jimmy Jeekins towards the back, and it's McAlpin who gets away best into Chesson's Drift on the inside. Will Ovenden in the red car, under fire from Ty Ratton for that second place as they start to sort themselves out. Through the dust they come. Over the top they go. Caden Harris, another newcomer this year, up there in 4th place ahead of Corey Paget, who's been slightly off the boil so far today. There's Phoebe Cake at the back of the field, one of this year's newcomers. First time we've seen her in an A final this season. Up the hill towards the right-hander at North Bend. Tyler McAlpin leads the way. He and Will Ovenden have had a big rivalry this year, along with Corey Paget as well, but Corey back in the pack here, just ahead of Ben Bartlett, the number 44. Then we've got Jimmy Jeekins in the Micra, and then a gap back to Holly Woolley and Ben Crossley. A couple of non-starters in this race. We lost Teddy McPherson and Harvey Hutchinson earlier on with problems in the heats. Nathan Harris up on the curve there in the black and green car. Jimmy Jeekins, the only Nissan Micra out there. We've seen his brother Alfie race that car as well in the past in the juniors. He's now a circuit racer in the Mini Challenge. Tyler McAlpin who leads the way from Will Ovenden. Is Ovenden going to challenge for another A final victory here? They've been pretty much splitting the wins up between them so far this year. Will Ovenden on his local circuit today. His family live just down the road, and indeed the family's business involved in the radical reshaping of the Linden Hill circuits over the last couple of years. Having a look on the inside there, Corey Paget doesn't quite get alongside Caden Harris. Down the hill they come. Behind them Ben Bartlett, the blue number 44 Suzuki. In the Micra number 754 Jimmy Jeekins. Run by Ty Ratton. First time we've seen him in the championship, up there in 3rd position with his Swift. 2 leaders going clear. Tyler McAlpin from Will Ovenden. Maybe Will has got his eyes on the overall championship rather than the junior category, because as we said earlier, if you win the overall championship, you can't win your category title because of that quirk of the rules where it's 1 title for each driver. Nobody can win more than 1 championship. So maybe that's what McAlpin and Ovenden are trying to do here. Maybe they've set their sights on overall victory, and that's why they're not battling too hard for junior points here. Who knows? Well clear though of everybody else as they come down the hill, coming through the start lap 5 out of 6. Caden Harris still under fire from Corey Paget. A good run by Caden. Jimmy Jeekins then behind Ben Bartlett, and behind the Micra it's Holly Woolley in the number 59. Putting herself this year on her debut season. Ben Crossley towards the back of the field along with Phoebe Cake, 631. Her father Chris Cake, regular rallycrosser here at Linden over the years. I think she's about to be lapped. Yes, there at the jump. Phoebe moves aside, lets the leaders through. Slides off onto the grass there, coming through towards Devil's Elbow. Hopefully keeping out of the way of the other runners as they put the newcomer a lap down. Caden Harris still ahead of Corey Paget as they go into Devil's Elbow. McAlpin still leads from Ovenden up into North Bend, and there's somebody off in the background there at Devil's Elbow. I saw a great cloud of dust and gravel. Somebody's gone off there as the 2 leaders come round to start their final lap. Oh, we've got a car upside down. It's Jimmy Jeekins. That's his second rollover of the season. The red flags come out. Jimmy Jeekins upside down. That's the car we saw going off at Devil's Elbow. And that's twice he's got that car upside down this season. He rolled it at Blyton in round 1. He's out of the car. In the background there, he's okay. The Micra on its roof. Now, was there contact there? We saw Phoebe Cake off on the grass. Did they make contact as she rejoined? We'll have a look again. Going into Devil's Elbow. There's Phoebe's car on the inside. Jimmy has to go wide. There's no contact, but he slides wide into the gravel and over he goes. He's taking avoiding action there as they went into Devil's Elbow, avoiding the slowing car. Well, the result has been declared at the end of lap 4. It's Tyler McAlpin who takes the win by 0.4 of a second ahead of Will Ovenden. Ty Ratton, an excellent third on his championship debut. Then Caden Harris ahead of a slightly off-song Corey Paget. Ben Bartlett, Holly Woolley and Ben Crossley complete the finishers. Of course, we lost Jimmy Jeekins. Phoebe Cake also not classified in our Junior A final.
So I'm here with Tyler McAlpin, the winner of our Junior final this afternoon. Another win for you, Tyler.
Yeah, it's a good one as well, especially to beat Will. He's my title contender at the moment, and I can never seem to pull it together in the final. He always has it over me, but it was nice to beat him eventually.
There wasn't much in it for the whole race. It was right, dog eat dog.
Yeah, it's been like that all day really. Honestly, any heat that we've been together, it's been nose to tail, and it seems to be like it seems to happen all season so far. I think we're so close on pace that neither one of us can overtake each other. So it's whoever can get to turn 1 first sort of has been leading and winning the race really.
How was the jump?
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it. It's a new experience. Although I've done it so many times, I love doing it every time. I look forward to it whenever we come here. It's so fun to do.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing how the championship rivalry, which is a very friendly rivalry, it's lovely to see. We'll see how that friendly rivalry continues throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, it should be good. Clean as well. Clean racing between me and Will especially. So it should be good.
The chaos continued in the SGS Gases FIA Cross Car Rallycross category. Plenty of battling in the early stages of their A final. Wallop straight into the barriers went Lewis Gatt in car 818, one of our newcomers, backwards into the tyre wall. Thankfully Lewis was okay. There were 3 different winners in the heats. Lewis had been one of them, but he was out of it. Max Weatherly was a heat winner as well, and Will Butler in treble 1, who took pole position for this A final. We are underway down towards that first corner. It's the 32 of Stephen Burke making a good start into Chessons for the first time. Go the cross cars. David Attiwell getting a bit crossed up in there as well. There's some contact, and somebody's got broken steering. Who's that? That's rather collapsed the front end of the car. It's Max Weatherly, the ex-junior rallycross competitor on his debut in the class, number 73. He's driving one of the new Live Life buggies that we've got here this weekend. 2 manufacturers. We've seen the Yarkar Cross SXC buggies so far. That's the Live TN5 being debuted this weekend. A couple of them out already though. We lost Lewis Gatt earlier on, and now Max Weatherly as well. So the only Live TN5 left is the number 88 of Alex Waterman. 501 David Attiwell battling it out in second place here. Used to campaign a Vauxhall Nova. He's just ahead of Ethan Rouse, number 424. And they sort themselves out after that rather crazy opening lap. Oh, the leader's gone wide. Goes straight on there going up into Chessons. David Attiwell meanwhile has spun it. Does nobody want to win this race? Attiwell spins onto the infield. We've had so much incident here at Lytton today. Attiwell getting going again in the background. Over the top they come, and now Stephen Burke's gone straight on. Has he got something wrong with his steering? He's gone straight on into the gravel at Devil's Elbow. So who's that given the lead to? I think it's Ethan Rouse. I'll apologise if I've miscalled that because the numbers are quite tricky to see from a distance on these cross cars. There's the 88, that's Alex Waterman in the only remaining Life TN5 buggy, the slightly different construction to the Yarkar machines we've seen. Stephen Burke, number 32 in one of those. Okay, they start to try and settle themselves down now after those crazy opening exchanges. There's David Attiwell in the background trying to recover. So it's Ethan Rouse, 424, who's got the lead. His first full season of Rallycross this year, looking for his first A final win. The best in the heats was only a 5th place in Heat 1, which shows how much trouble the more successful drivers from the heats have run into so far. We lost Lewis Gatt. He went into the tyre wall coming off the jump. Max Weatherly was taken out on the second attempt with that broken front suspension. The other heat winner was Will Butler, treble one, who had an A final win at Blighton last time out. One other newcomer who didn't make it as far as the A final, had to withdraw in the heat sadly, was Callum House, a rallycross photographer, getting behind the wheel for the first time in one of the Life Live buggies. Into lap 4 go the leaders. Rouse from Butler, back behind, side by side there between Waterman and Burke as they go into Chesson's Drift. Behind them is David Attiwell, and again Alex Waterman this time it is who nearly loses it. They seem to be struggling to get through Chesson's Drift in one piece here, don't they? Maybe these machines not the best suited to Lydden Hill. They do get great air off the jump though because they're so small and light. The other cross car that we've lost, who had repeated problems in the heats, and they've struck again in this A final, number 23 Luke Holly has dropped out of the race as well. Well, Ethan Rouse seemingly keeping his head while all around him are losing theirs, it has to be said, in this rather chaotic A final. It's been chaos all day today here at Lydden Hill. Pulling away from Will Butler in that second place, the Yakar Cross machines prevailing in the end. There's David Attiwell in that fourth place now, he recovered in the 501 car. Over the top they come once again. Drivers loving this, you can see the air they get off the jump. It's Ethan Rouse, could he be heading for his first ever A final win? The hill towards North Bend for the penultimate time. Will Butler not catching him in the treble one, they're fairly well spaced out now, the 5 runners. Towards paddock. See the suspension travel of these little machines under braking. Rouse from Butler. Stephen Burke, Alex Waterman and David Attiwell continuing the fight for third place further back. We're on the last lap now. Stephen is taking it steady through Chesson's Drift there, not wanting to get too sideways, else you spin out. Stephen Burke's had a rather wayward race here. I thought he may have suffered some steering damage earlier on because the car was not handling well at all. You can see the tyre tracks there in the gravel trap where he went straight on at Devil's Elbow and lost the lead. Well, it's looking good for Ethan Rouse for his first ever A final win in the 424 car. And there's the 32 of Burke still in third place. It's going to be a win for Ethan Rouse. They're greeted by yellow flags though instead of the checkered flag. That was the end of the last lap, so Rouse will be the winner. Will Butler in second. What's happened? Stephen Burke coming through for third. I think that's Alex Waterman, so maybe we've lost David Attiwell at the start of the final lap. We can see yellow flags going into Chesson's Drift. So I think we've lost the 501 car somewhere of David Attiwell. We'll confirm that in a moment as the cars make their way back to the paddock. Yes, there is Attiwell. He's gone wide on the run into Chesson's Drift and against the barriers. So only 4 classified finishers then. Rouse takes his first ever A final win by just over 2 seconds ahead of Will Butler. Stephen Burke taking third place. Alex Waterman, the only other finisher. We lost Attiwell, Luke Holly, Max Weatherly and Lewis Gatt. Callum House withdrawing during the heats for our SGS Gases FIA cross car category.
I'm delighted to be standing with the winner of our cross car final, Ethan Rouse.
Yeah.
Ethan, you're a little bit hot and sweaty.
Yeah, obviously it's difficult. It's my first year doing it. I haven't really done anything like this in the past. I don't really know where everyone else went in that race, but I managed to squeeze through and keep it in front of my teammate Will, who's been sort of dominating it so far. So, yeah, good one.
So,
good to win one.
So what racing, if any, have you done in the past?
Just a bit of karting with my friends. Sort of set up a championship between us in rental karts and had a bit of fun and got the chance to start racing one of these and took it. And it's difficult so far, but obviously this is a bit of a boost. So,
well, welcome to Rallycross,
yeah.
And welcome to the winner's step.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we'll see you again at Pembury.
Yes, yeah, you will. Yeah, there for double headers. So, look forward to it.
Look forward to seeing you there. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Well, that wraps up a hugely entertaining day here at Lytton Hill for round 5 of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Championship now takes a short break before a double header, rounds 6 and 7 coming up at Pembrey in South Wales. Hopefully the weather will be as favourable there as it was here in Kent. But for now, thank you very much for watching and goodbye.